Hey everyone, this is On Track GP, I'm Jamie Chambers, and this is our best and most memorable moments of 2023. 2023 Formula One season will go down firmly in the history books for the extraordinary campaign put forward by Max Verstappen. Though the fight at the top of the grid was rather lacking, the season still produced more than a few memorable moments worth mentioning. This year alone, we've seen Fernando Alonso's revival at Aston Martin, Lando Norris getting the best out of an improved McLaren, Oscar Piastri's maiden sprint race win, Carlos Sainz with a tactical masterclass in Singapore, Esteban Ocon and Pierre Gasly's surprise podiums, Alex Albon dragging Williams to 7th in the Constructors, Liam Lawson with a genuinely good cameo appearance, Lewis Hamilton taking Verstappen all the way in Austin, only to get disqualified. Even a supposed dull track in the middle of Vegas was exciting. Let's take a look back at some of the best moments of 2023. Ferrari's 800th podium. At the 2023 Austrian Grand Prix, Charles Leclerc was on the podium for the second time this season. His second place as the Red Bull Ring marked the 800th podium for Scuderia Ferrari. The Italian team has been part of the Formula One circus since the 1950s, and it's the first team to score this huge record. Behind the Cavallino, there is McLaren with 494 and Williams with 313. The first driver to be on the podium for the Scuderia was Alberto Ascari in the 1950 Monaco Grand Prix. Schumacher, as expected, has the highest number of podiums for the team with 116. He's followed by Rubens Barrichello and Sebastian Vettel, both at 55. Fourth in the list is Kimi Raikkonen, who has 52 podiums, and Fernando Alonso with 44 podiums. That completes our top 5. The current drivers for the Cavallino Rampant have 25 podiums for Leclerc and 13 for Carlos Sainz. McLaren turn it around. At the onset of the 2023 Formula One season, McLaren faced a crisis as both drivers struggled to secure points. Signs of improvement emerged in Spain, where Lando Norris claimed 3rd in the qualifying and Oscar Piastri scored 10th. However, it wasn't until the Austrian Grand Prix that the Papaya team found solid ground, with Norris clinching 4th. Gradually, McLaren introduced updates, culminating in Norris achieving podium finishes in Silverstone and Budapest, both times securing 2nd place. These consecutive podiums marked McLaren's first since 2012, when Lewis Hamilton won the American Grand Prix and Jenson Button triumphed in Brazil. A memorable podium. The best looking podium of the year came in Canada, where multiple champions Verstappen, Alonso and Hamilton were joined by multiple title winner Adrian Newey. You would need a calculator to work out just how many titles they had between them. The return of Danny Ricciardo. The beloved Honey Badger Danny Ricciardo returned to the F1 cockpit in 2023 following a disappointing close to his McLaren tenure last season. Ricciardo rejoined Red Bull before the summer break, taking over the AlphaTauri seat of Nick De Vries. Despite contending with rust and a significant wrist injury, the Australian showcased his prowess by securing an unforgettable P4 start in Mexico, out-qualifying Sergio Perez, both Mercedes and both McLarens. Whether this signifies a pathway to a permanent Red Bull seat in the future remains to be seen. Fernando Alonso steals the show in Bahrain. It may feel like ages ago, but Alonso fever sweeping over F1 was arguably the hottest storyline over the early portion of the season. After 2 seasons of running near the back of the field, Sebastian Vettel decided to retire from the sport at the end of 22, leaving a space for now 42-year-old Fernando Alonso to get away with what was seemingly a distinctly dire stint at Alpine. By making a heavily criticised move to Aston Martin, many wondered if Alonso had lost his competitive fire. He quickly silenced his doubters with an electric season-opening drive in Bahrain that made many feel like they were watching prime Alonso from his Renault and Ferrari glory days. But 2023 may have confirmed that the ageless Spaniard never lost his prime in the first place. That may have been one of the best career moves the Spanish veteran has ever made, as the Silverstone-based team made giant steps forward with their car, allowing Alonso to claim 8 podium finishes throughout the season. Vettel may just be gutted that he didn't stay at Aston Martin a little bit longer. Oscar Piastri scores first win in Qatar. In his rookie F1 season, Oscar Piastri displayed remarkable performances despite being outscored by teammate Norris 195 to 89. However, there is one thing that he has that Norris does not: a victory, albeit in a sprint race. Piastri's first year as an F1 driver couldn't have gone much better. In what was statistically the best rookie year since Lewis Hamilton in 2007, the young Australian quickly got up to pace with the rest of the front runners once McLaren delivered a podium-worthy car. Among Piastri's standout moments, none surpassed his triumph in the Qatar sprint race, securing McLaren's sole win of the season. Excelling in sprints, he secured second in Belgium and elevated to pole and victory in Qatar. Although he attained second in the main race, replicating such success has proven challenging. Piastri's driving prowess hints at more victories to come in the future. Hamilton delivers first pole since 2021. For the first time in 2 seasons, Hamilton experienced the feeling of starting on pole again for the first time since Saudi Arabia 21, ending his longest barren spell since 2007. And his reaction certainly did capture the pent-up emotion of the moment. Hamilton claimed his 9th career pole at the Hungaroring with a superb lap that edged out world champion Verstappen by just 0.003 of a second. In an otherwise difficult season for the 7-time world champion and Mercedes, his pole in Hungary proved he still got it. With his 9th pole at the track, giving him an outright record for poles of a single track, having previously held it jointly with Ayrton Senna, 8 at Imola, and Michael Schumacher, 8 at Suzuka. Unfortunately for the 7-time world champion, his Mercedes car lacked the pace during the race, and he could only finish 4th, 39.134 seconds behind eventual winner Verstappen. Verstappen's Monaco pole. Speaking of breathtaking pole laps, it would be hard to find one better this season than Verstappen's Monaco comeback. At a track glorified for producing magical qualifying performances, the 3-time world champion added another to the circuit's grand history. Trailing 0.2 of a second, Verstappen brushed and even banged walls to put together a perfect final sector to regain 0.3 of a second and deny Alonso from scoring another long-awaited pole. Ocon's Monaco performance. In Monaco, Ocon secured Alpine's first podium since 2021 with a 3rd place finish after overcoming an early race clattering from Sainz's Ferrari and a rain shower that left other drivers bashing barriers and confusing with their tyre tactics. He was the first French driver on the podium at Monaco since Olivier Panis in 1996. Sadly for him, it remains his only podium of the year, but at the last race in Vegas, he managed to finish 4th. So, could a possible season-ending comeback be on the cards next season? Verstappen shines at his home Grand Prix. In front of home fans in the Dutch Grand Prix, Verstappen delivered a performance that left his Red Bull team principal Christian Horner declaring him untouchable as the best driver in the world. After a double downpour put him down in 13th, he lapped at times 2 seconds faster than the rest of the field to climb through to the front. It equalled Sebastian Vettel's 9-race winning streak and was the 8th time this season Verstappen had won from pole. He has done this 3 times since then. Carlos Sainz snaps Red Bull dominance in Singapore. Sainz was the one in Red Bull's 21-1 record in 2023. With Singapore being a circuit of nightmares for the almost perfect Red Bull, Ferrari and the Spaniard used all the tactics available to take the victory. As Russell and Hamilton chased him down on fresher tyres, Sainz brilliantly used McLaren's Norris to shield himself from the fast-charging Mercedes, which even caught his own pit wall by surprise. Sainz's plan worked perfectly, earning him the win and even resulting in Russell crashing out in dramatic, unforgettable final lap. 3-way racing in Singapore. Verstappen had a nightmare in Singapore, unbelievably failing to get into the top 10 qualifying shootout. And with the dominant leader out of the way and struggling for setup, the stage was set for what was one of the greatest race finishes in years, with Sainz, Norris, Russell and Hamilton in a nose-to-tail chase for victory. Sainz cleverly and carefully backed up second-place Norris to give his rival the benefit of DRS, helping to keep him ahead of the faster Mercedes pair. Russell then crashed out on the final lap, clipping the wall and going straight into the barriers to hand the podium to Hamilton. Alonso and Perez raced to the line in Brazil. Alonso and Perez's back-and-forth battle in Sao Paulo, Brazil is what F1 is all about. 2 veterans with exceptional racecraft who are keeping it to the limit but fair to the finish line. After holding Perez behind for a number of laps, the Red Bull pilot finally jumped the 2-time champion on the penultimate lap. But it's never over until the checkered flag waves. With all his years of experience, Alonso pulled off a final lap overtake on Perez before beating him to the finish line in an epic drag race that left only 0.053 seconds between them. The new look Las Vegas Grand Prix. Formula One headed to Vegas earlier in November for the inaugural event around the Las Vegas Street Circuit. Whilst the opening evening of F1 action was marred by an incident involving Carlos Sainz and a loose drain cover and the controversial treatment of fans, the rest of the event turned out to be a great sporting spectacle, with a stunning backdrop, a celeb-filled paddock, and most importantly, quite a good race. Vegas will be on the calendar until at least 2030, so unlike 1980s, there will be plenty more opportunities for great racing in Vegas. Perez was involved in 2 last lap overtakes this season. Unfortunately for him, he was on the losing end in both. This time it was Leclerc who threw his car into the braking zone from a jaw-dropping distance behind to complete the pass on Checo for second place in Las Vegas. Though the inaugural race of the Vegas Strip was full of showbiz, spectacle and shiny lights, nothing outshone Leclerc. Impressive overtaking across the field. It wasn't just the front runners with some impressive overtaking skills. There was fantastic overtaking action everywhere on the track. Alonso and Hamilton collided multiple times in 2023, but Alonso prevailed during Bahrain's season opener with a move that was showcased his F1 skill as a top contender. Monaco poses challenges for overtaking, yet Kevin Magnussen showcased daring manoeuvres, surprising Logan Sargent at Mirabeau and executing a rare pass at a corner notoriously scarce for overtaking opportunities. Gasly's Alpine pressured Albon's Williams on Belgium's Kemmel Straight, leading to a gripping side-by-side duel through Les Combes. Gasly finally succeeded in overtaking around turn 9 after an intense wheel-to-wheel exchange. Alonso staged a remarkable comeback in Sao Paulo Grand Prix, challenging Perez in F1's dominant car. His strategic move, seizing an opportunity after Perez's error at the Senna S's, allowed Alonso to skillfully pass around the outside of turn 4, clinching a podium finish. Verstappen wins 10 in front of the Tifosi. Who else but Verstappen? In a season that will become synonymous with Verstappen making history, out of all the monumental feats set by the Dutch driver in 2023, none felt bigger than his record-breaking 10th victory in a row. Lewis Hamilton's resilience. Lewis Hamilton, a name synonymous with Formula One's excellence, had a season filled with ups and downs. Despite not always being in the lead, Hamilton's resilience and experience were evident in how he handled each race. His ability in navigating tight corners and pivotal final laps was a masterclass in racing. Hamilton's tenacity ensured that he remained a formidable competitor throughout the season. Notably, his memorable third-place triumph in a fiercely competitive race underscored his enduring competitiveness. Max Verstappen's dominance. Throughout the season, Max Verstappen showcased remarkable dominance in numerous Grand Prix races, affirming his status as one of his generation's most gifted drivers. His exceptional abilities led to multiple victories, often commanding substantial leads. Notably, his standout performance at the Dutch Grand Prix highlights his outstanding driving prowess, exhibiting confidence and precision on the track. This season added significantly to Verstappen's already impressive Formula One career. Red Bull's strategy and team effort. Red Bull Racing's triumph this season didn't solely hinge on the exceptional skills of its drivers, but also the team's strategic prowess. Their adeptness in making critical decisions, from pit stops to race-specific car configurations, consistently propelled their drivers forward. This cohesive teamwork was evident in Red Bull's adept management of race strategies, frequently gaining pivotal advantages that secured leading positions. Few things in sports can match the intensity of a Formula One final lap. This season, fans were treated to several races where the outcome was decided in an exhilarating final corner take. These moments where drivers pushed their cars and skills to the limit often determined the podium standings, adding an extra layer of excitement to the season. The 2023 Formula One season will be remembered for its extraordinary races, incredible driver performances and nail-biting final laps. As we look ahead to next season, the anticipation starts to build as we wait to see what new stories and moments will unfold on the Formula One tracks around the world. And that is our roundup of the best and most memorable moments of 2023. There was certainly a lot to choose from and no doubt even more to discuss during the off-season. With that in mind, what were your best moments of the season? Did we miss anything that you thought was particularly memorable? What are you hoping for from 2024? Let us know in the comments, and as always, remember to like, comment, share and subscribe. I've been Jamie Chambers, this has been On Track GP. Keep the pedal to the metal, and I'll catch you in the next video.